So, welcome back, Tyranny of Dragons, episode something. We just completed the dragon hatchery. We found some tips on where this cult of the dragon might be headed. And now our adventurers are deciding what to do before they head back to Greenest.
Don't forget we have a leader in our custody.
Yep, and the Havling Dedrosa Cyanrath sitting here on the side of Viren down here, really small. And this is like kind of like it is technically 12 miles to camp, so it's like everything is roughly about how far it is.
What time of day is it?
Whenever you guys exited the hatchery, it took you about 5 hours to clear it, and it was like morning, so you guys, it's about noon, like midday.
Holy goddamn.
Well, I'm up for a walk back to Greenest. What about you guys?
Oh, definitely.
I would like to get rid of
We have
this.
to return these jewels to the proper owners.
Absolutely.
Yeah, are y'all dragging Lingdadrosa the 12 miles, or y'all just taking care of him, or?
Just over the.
Thought he was in.
He's just strapped to my back at this
Yeah,
point.
he's just
Thought he
unconscious,
was-
strapped to his back.
In a cart, because I was playing with him like he was in a bathtub.
That's up to Viren. Viren's got him under
Sure.
lockdown. Yeah.
I mean, if he starts to wake up, just hit him again.
So you're just gonna carry him with you?
Yeah, just strap him to the back.
Alright, sounds good. So, yeah, you guys go to Greenest. It takes you a few hours, and you arrive there without any issue. Governor Nighthill approaches you when you get there, and he thanks you very much, and you guys exchange that information. You can very easily find the couple that you owed, the clerks, I believe, that you owed the necklace and ring, if y'all still intended to
Absolutely.
give those back. They thank you very much, and they offer you 300 gold pieces for returning their jewelry.
That's so kind.
And Governor Nighthill will award you 500 for completing that mission for him and securing some small amount of treasure for his citizens.
Do we get a bonus for bringing back an actual leader rather than just information?
I mean, Lingdadrosa, he's impressed, but he doesn't really know what to do with him.
He's gotta
It's
call
kind
the
of
feds.
beyond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got to call the feds.
it's a bit. Lingdadrosa is a bit beyond. Greenest's means of what they can do. So he would basically
actually
just
says-
call us higher up.
Keep his mouth chained shut and just feed him soup broth through the tooth holes. Don't let him open his mouth and zap you.
Lol. Alright, did you want to leave Lingdadrosa with him, or are you gonna keep carrying him around, or?
Fuck no.
That's up to
Well,
him.
Maybe he'll fall in love with us and get Stockholm syndrome.
He's scary. Let's leave him.
Well, what's our next move overall? We've got these maps telling us what to expect
next
for
town.
next attacks.
Yeah,
Are
so the last you heard, Leosin is off to Elturel. Oh, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. That's me falling down on the ball. Alright. So... Alright, so what he suggests, since you found, that they're headed north on the tradeway, the cult, whenever you guys found that thing, because Mondoth, essentially, she just, like, turned tail and ditched. Like, she isn't really going back because she just left, and she did not want to fight you guys because she was not ready to die for the cult of the dragon, so she just ditched. Nighthill tells you that right before Leosin left town, he bought horses and riding gear for you guys, so that you guys could journey to Eltrell and meet with him. And they are being kept at dealer stables until you guys are ready to leave, and all of their costs are paid for.
Oh, how generous.
Are they interested in us delivering this general to Eltrell?
Not Langdedrosa. Langdedrosa isn't. He's more of just like a assassin-y type guy. He's not like super high rank. So you guys essentially have most of the information that he would have already.
So he's just like a thug boss. He's not really so much of
a super intellectual, knows everything kind of guy. Yeah, pretty much. He was basically there for the fight power, but now that you guys have taken care of him, he's pretty useless, to be honest.
Speaking to the rest of the party,
go ahead.
I say, thank you so much for everything you've done for our town. I intend to see this through and continue on to Eltrell. I know you've done so much already, but if you're willing to come further assist Greenest, I would welcome you along our side.
I respond with, Saloon guided me here, so I will do what I must.
I'm with you, Sir Oxford.
Count me in.
Right, and with that, would you guys like to take care of any business in Greenest? I mean, obviously you guys can hang out here, get a long rest. Nighthill welcomes you guys to an evening of all the drink and food you could fill your bellies with, and the nicest rooms at the tavern, and you guys can rest and relax before you journey to Eltrell, and that will still leave you plenty of time to meet up with Leosin.
Okay, can I get rid of my shit?
Yes, you do have, you can meet a mender up in town, and they'll just give you, they'll give you what it, like in the player handbook, exactly what it costs. No more, no less.
Okay.
Question, DM. We last time found gems.
Mm-hmm.
2 rubies, 3 sapphires, and 2 diamonds.
They are each worth. Let me.
I thought it was 500, but that seemed like a lot, and Viren said 100, and that sounds more reasonable. But I wanted to fix my notes. Sorry.
No worries.
Well,
Let me
I intend to do some very minor shopping just for mundane weapons. I'm gonna buy a heavy crossbow and a rapier while I'm in town.
All right. And they have, this is a trader town, so they have anything you guys would need.
Excellent. To actually get some cheese to reward Shovels a little bit.
And it is the finest cheese in all of Greenest.
Big cheese. We gotta have like a little barrel that I'm spending like 50 gold of like cheese that goes in this barrel that Shovels will carry on its back.
Alright, so it's actually half a dozen polished precious stones for 100 pieces each. So
Okay.
6 stones for 100.
So 6 stones for 100. Okay.
One cask of cheese.
1 cask of cheese, please.
Yes.
They'll just give you a cheese wheel.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. And I point to like the shovels out front. It's for him. Oh, I wonder why a little gnome wants like a barrel full of cheese.
Right.
Can we sell the gems in town? Do they have money to?
Yep. Absolutely.
Is everybody okay with just selling the gems and splitting the money?
Yes.
I can use the diamond for spell soon here.
Okay, 1 diamond for you, 5 other gems.
I need all the diamonds.
All the diamonds. 2 diamonds. that how many there were? Just 2?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 diamonds for you. So 4 gems to be sold. Anybody need a ruby or a sapphire?
Nope.
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 We'll sell them
Perfect.
if we can.
If we find a pink topaz, it's all yours, Ellie.
Oh, yeah, like I said, this is a trader town. They're not like insanely rich, but they definitely would like some stones that could be sold at maybe even a higher price to another bidder. I'm just kidding. All right, and
Wow, this adventuring thing makes for good money.
yeah, buddy, killing treasure-seeking dragons can prove quite fruitful.
That's what we get for putting our necks on the line.
Indeed. Greater the risk, the greater the reward. Yeah. So, you guys go to sleep, an eventful night, and do you guys head out? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
As far as components go for spells, Find Familiar has like a specific amount that you need. What?
I don't care about components.
Cool. I didn't know if I should go stock up on incense.
I don't give a shit. If you want to deal with diamonds and all that stuff and it pleases you, you are more than welcome to. I personally will not be keeping a tab of you using stones and gems and blah 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 twig from an oak branch every spell. Like I said, if it pleases you to play the game that way, you are more than welcome to do that. But I will not be reinforcing it.
Okay.
And if Eleanor just likes periwinkle incense, then go buy some.
Exactly.
Cool.
And he's getting some cheese and she wants some caviar and yeah, you guys do you. But
Awesome. I should have asked you that off stream,
sorry, that's not going to be something that I will enforce.
Your spell foci, it takes that place of components anyways, unless it costs money. So that's
yeah. We'll find
pretty in
another
line.
cost 25 or no 10 gold points. So 10 gold pieces.
Gold points.
Gold points.
Gold point. Gil.
10 gil. Yeah.
That would be really sad, actually.
That's right. I'll just in my mind have those and mark down 10 every time I have to recast it. It's good. Easy enough.
Perfect. Anything else you guys want to do in town before you go nana? Oh god, I have a child. That's I always ask her if she wants to. You wanna go nana? I can tuck you in if you like. Sing you a song.
Ellie's gonna get her own room in case there's any plan.
You guys are all welcome to have your own rooms. Night Hill is very, very pleased with you guys. So he has offered you the full welcomings of Greenest.
Daxley says he's gonna stay with Shovels. He doesn't trust him on his own.
Lol.
Lost you once.
You guys are staying with me forever. Alright. So with that, you guys head to bed. You have maximum comfortable sleep in the maximum comfortable beds with the maximum full bellies. And including Shovels and Drill Bit and Taffeta. She got the best caviar. They went and got some just for her. And
fresh squeezed.
Exactly. It makes it sound like gross. With that, in the morning, did you guys just want to head out at first light, or?
Yeah.
I would say so. Lives are at risk.
My business here is done. I'm ready to.
Let's get on the road.
Perfect. All right. Well, you guys travel 200 miles without incident. And then you reach El Terrell. You guys all loaded in on the new page?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Alright, awesome. So, Is that a no? I just hear, oh, fuck.
No, I'm sorry. I'm all good.
Are you all good, Sandra? Do you require assistance?
No, I just fucked up my math. I'm good.
Story
I'm
of
The
my
good.
life.
majesty of this city.
Indeed, El Chorel, a large, orderly city overlooking the river Chianthar, is filled with merchants, river traders, and farmers' markets. Its most distinguishing feature is a brilliant magical light that hovers above it, illuminating it day and night. This light is painful to undead and is visible from almost every corner of Elturgard, of which El Chorel is the capital, appearing from afar as a star or distant sun.
Magnificent.
Oh, it's so pretty. Have you guys ever seen something so pretty?
I've only been by here a few times, but it's always a wonder to behold. I bet you certainly wish you had one of these artificial suns in the Underdark, there, friend Daxley.
Daxley's just like staring at it, like all like,
He's just like, I don't even know what to make of this.
yeah. It's like there's so much open, there's so much light. It's
I hope it doesn't hurt your eyes.
Daxley's just broken.
I've never seen it so big. He closes the lid of his treasure chest a little bit.
Yeah, ducks inside.
Yeah, he's like, okay, back to mental sensory deprivation chest.
No more light. Alright, and here you do remember that Leosin is here, and he did say that his main objective was getting information to his confidant Onthar Froome, who is based in Elturel.
We
So-
definitely had to pass word on.
Yeah, you guys are
Is
looking
there-
for. Yeah.
Is there any sign on the outskirts of the city that there's been any raids or like any trouble here, or is it look pretty?
Yeah, quite the opposite. It's actually everything seems to be going about normal. The outskirts, you just see a bit of bustling of regular villagers going about their day to day, and as you guys make your way up the ridges and into the town, it's a pretty average but extra beautiful, bustling city, and everything seems pretty normal.
And this is the place the force is coming from? Or coming to? The evil forces are coming to take this place?
Oh no. So here, let me get you.
This is the town that the monk was at.
Yeah,
Oh,
so here, let me
okay.
get you, let me show you the Sword Coast so that we can kind of get an idea of what's going on and where we're at. Get you guys a layout. So, if you look as far south as you can, you're going to see Greenest in the bottom center. So you guys started at Greenest. The cultists, you saw them head west and north, so they're actually taking that coast way that goes along the edge of the ocean. Leosin is headed to El Chorel, which is directly north of Greenest. You guys took that side way. And these both meet at Baldur's Gate. So you guys were under the impression that they were headed up the coast way to go through Baldur's Gate, because essentially all trade coming from the south has to go through Baldur's Gate. So you guys are meeting Leosin and Elturel to talk about the information you guys gathered, and then see your next step of action, because those places essentially meet in the same spot. And the cultists will be moving a little bit slower than you guys, since they are carrying a lot of stuff and you guys are on horseback. So
How big is my horse?
your horse
You have a
is
war
dying. It is a war horse, but it is still dying. All right, no, I'm just kidding. Your horse is
you're
massive.
Yeah, you get to carry the horse.
You just got no, they just gave you hold up, give me a second.
It's like
Please
Cho'Gath,
tell me I'm
Warriors of
riding
the
a
Storm.
pony.
Yeah, you guys are on. They gave the halflings miniature ponies, so you guys aren't dying. If you want, you can have a pack horse, Daxley, since you already have a ride.
Yeah, Shovels was already thinking about eating it, saying it was an extra horse, and I said, no, 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 no.
Extra horse.
Okay, so here we go. Actually, so Eleanor is getting a miniature pony.
Yes.
Viren is getting a yak. I think that's the
Nice.
best thing I've seen that would like actually hold a Fearbolg without dying. You get a yak. That sounds fantastic. All right. Daxley, you get your choice of a miniature pony or a regular horse. Oxford, you'll get a horse, and Ranby, I think you can choose between yak or horse. you get the option since you're a half orc. They could get you a big horse, but if you want, you could also fit on a small yak.
As soon as like,
Yeah,
As
it's
soon as-
happening.
as soon as Daxley is like outside of town limits with the horse, he like takes all the like leather and barding off. He's like, "You're free, man. You're free. Go, be free.
The horse
I release you."
The horse kind of tilts its head and looks confused and nibbles on some grass.
Yep. Oh yeah, man. Live that life. Live that life to the fullest. And then he carries on riding Shovels.
That's fantastic.
I turn to the horse and just tell it, just go back home.
And it just kind of looks at you, and then it just trots right back over to the stable master. And the stable master just kind of like looks at him from a distance, can like see him. He's just like confused, but takes the horse inside. Hey, that horse could get killed by a lot of stuff. It's the best for it. Alright, guys. So, what would you like to do in Elturel?
We need to find the monks. Do we see any monkish people walking around?
You don't, but I mean, you guys can always go, try and gather some information at like find a tavern, or, find maybe a merchant on the street. I mean, the world is
Are
your
there
oyster.
guards?
Yep,
Is
there
the
are
town
guards.
being guarded? Yeah.
Yep. You'll see a guard just about like as one goes out of sight, you'll see another one posted. They're not like everywhere, but they're pretty easily found. It's like an employee at a shopping mart. You can usually find one.
Target.
Just look for the red armor, you know.
Eleanor will elbow Oxford. Hey, why don't you ask your people? You know, guards, your guard, their guards.
You
Guard
must know the
bingo.
secret handshakes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. There's a common understanding about between guardsmen.
See?
Yeah, perfect.
Uh,
Oxford sees one 50 feet away from him outside of a tavern.
I can be a little clumsy sometimes with the discussion, but perhaps join me, and if things, maybe you can help sway them to convince them to reveal any knowledge that we need.
Absolutely. She skips.
All right, so we approach one of the town guards.
Hail, how goes it? How may I help you, friend?
Well met. We come from the nearby town of Greenest. We've seen some terrible raids there. I don't know if you've received word.
We haven't. I didn't know the raids had reached as far as Greenest, but I'm not pleased to hear it. I hope all is in order now.
Actually, ourselves, we've done good deeds to keep the peace there, but we require to take next steps here. An ally, an out-of-towner that may seem out of place, should be here in town. Maybe you've heard word of a monk traveling through here.
I can't quite say I know of any monks. Sorry, what do you say his name is?
Leosin.
Kind of thinks for a second, and I don't know of any Leosins, but you guys are always welcome to look around. Is there anybody else, perhaps, that you're looking for I could help you with?
Well, even help us point in the right direction. Are there any places, good watering holes where gossip is rampant, or maybe a superior of yours that maybe is a little bit more in touch with the goings on of the strangers in town.
Well, I would say Onthar, he runs the Order of the Gauntlet around here. He's always drinking in a pair of black antlers up the road.
A pair of black antlers it is.
I appreciate your time, good sir, and I know the pay around here isn't always the best. I slip him 5 gold.
And he gives you a hearty smile and a clap on the shoulder, and he says, good friend, I know one when I see one. You enjoy your time in El Chirel, friend. And he will actually give you a little bit of direction. He says, go up the road, take a right. If you run into the brothel, you've gone a little too far.
Yeah.
My.
And...
Although if you find the brothel going too far is sort of what you're after.
Indeed.
Oh, my ears. Wah, 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 wah.
Sorry. All right, and you guys make your way to the inn, the tavern.
Yes, to the black antler.
Yep.
All right, pair of black antlers it is. All righty. You guys come into a pair of black antlers. Give me 1 second, actually. Oh.
Do I see a church anywhere, like, as we walk by?
You didn't pass one on the short distance from there to a pair of black antlers, but I'm sure you would be able to find one pretty easily. It's a pretty large city.
Alright, well, I'm gonna regroup with y'all here in a bit, but I'm gonna go drop off all this food for donations.
For sure.
You're so kind.
So nice. 1 second. You can actually find a small order of saloon in El Chirel, which is about a 30-minute walk into downtown in El Chirel. So it'd be about an hour trip to go there, drop off the food, and come back.
Okay.
Just because
So I'll
it's
be gone
busy.
for like an hour.
Yep. They can easily direct you from the tavern. And I feel like this is really quiet all of a sudden. That's
As we approach the pair of black antlers, do I get a vibe or sense this is really seedy type of place, or does this seem like pretty?
It seems like a pretty well kept, well traversed inn. It doesn't seem seedy. If anything, it seems like there are probably more soldiers in there, like having a good time, than ruffians and that kind of thing.
Is there music?
There is.
Oh no, I meant in the in the tavern.
Yeah, there is.
Not okay.
You can hear it.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, I have my thing down too loud. I hear it now. I like
Dex.
this place already.
Daxley gets off Shovels and just tells him stay and don't move or no cheese. And he doesn't worry about anybody stealing his mount, that's for sure.
No.
That
I'll
was
just hotwire this badger.
Music
And
might
follows-
also sound familiar.
Follows Sir Oxford, kind of hiding behind him a bit.
I guess the Order of the Gauntlet, their members probably stand out. Their insignia is probably well known in these parts.
Indeed, actually, as you guys come in one of the back tables, you see a man laughing pretty loudly and taking a big gulp of mead. Give me 1 second. There you go. And you can see a sigil of torn on him, on his very clearly emblazoned on his armor.
Is he a dwarf or just a human who's on his way there?
Oh, he's just a very big human, and he's working on the beard. He's got that perfect beard. Dude, yes, you guys are like. He just needs to braid it. You should ask him if you can braid it. You guys would be like best buddies. That would be glorious. Okay. Didn't even make that connection. All right. So yeah, you see this guy at a back table making some jokes, laughing, having some drinks.
Yeah, let's approach them. Everyone's with us except for Viren, is that right?
Yeah, Viren is. Viren will be back in about an hour. Game time.
I go up to the barkeep and I buy just 2 plain beers.
All right, and he just says, "Ah, copper apiece."
Easily done, and I give him a 2 copper tip.
Ah, gracious fellow.
Me and my friends will be drinking here probably for the night. Can you see that we have a tap?
Absolutely, as much as you like. Have a good time, sir.
Eleanor's gonna pop up. Do you have any juice?
Any juice?
You know, like the kind you squeeze from oranges, or if you're really strong from an apple.
I can't quite say we do. We have some wine that's squeezed from grapes, I believe.
What about milk?
I can ask the lady to go get a bit of milk.
I'll take a milk.
Randa, out back, the cow. A glass of milk for the lady. 2 copper.
Thank you. Okay.
I suppose it's good someone keeps a clear head.
So hand over the money. Plus extra for a tip.
And about 5 minutes later, she comes back with a very fresh cup of milk for you.
Yay!
She's trying to be the tallest gnome.
Yeah, she's got to keep her bones strong. Right. And actually, as you glance over that table, you do see Leosin sitting with him. Yeah.
Yo,
This is serendipitous.
I thought you were gonna have to rest up for some time. Glad you made it.
And Leosin looks over and he says, "Ah, you guys made it quickly, I see. Perfect. I'd like you to meet my friend here, Onthar Froome." And Froome reaches out his cup and he says, "Ah, nice to meet you all. I hear you have many a tale to tell me, and I do love to hear me some good tales."
Unfortunately, they're not tales of good news. Sorry to break up the jovial nature of this conversation, but...
Well, it seems to be the times these days. We might get quite to it quickly, but first, a couple of drinks.
Yes, I hand him one of the 2 that I bought, for when your current one is empty.
Ah, good man. Comes in here with good intentions, I see. So it's gonna be a good night. Right. And Onthar is actually going, a gentleman comes in and Onthar says, "Ah, one moment, a friend of mine has come in. I've got to go greet him really quickly." And as he heads off, Leosin kind of leans over into Nathaniel and he says, "It's actually very important to make a good impression on this guy. He's pretty important, so don't go quite rushing into things. Maybe, share a couple tales, have a couple arm wrestles with the guy. Take your time." And he just kind of turns over and sips his beer like he was doing nothing else. And a couple moments later, Onthar comes back over and says, "Ah, so, back to it."
Daxter says, "I challenge you to a gnome nose wrestling match."
"What? A challenge?"
I suppose you've never nose wrestled before, have you?
I can't say that I have, but nothing's more exciting than a new challenge.
Taxley, like, pulls up a chair to, like, kind of make himself level with this guy sitting down. And he's like, alright, so we go nose to nose, and you just, whichever one goes over each other's nose bridge is the loser. It's like an arm wrestle with your nose.
He looks kind of confused for a second. He's like, I'll need a drink for this. Chugs his entire ale real quick, slams it on the table, and then comes at you with, like, the fiercest gaze, and his nose is scrunched very intensely.
And say, you'll probably be the first human that's had a nose wrestle in this town, I bet. It'll be something to put on your belt.
Aye, but I see it probably won't be the last. And,
all right, we line up noses like bucking antlered bucks, and then strength check, I guess.
Yeah, make me a strength check. Let's do
11. Let's hope he rolls low.
Yep.
Yay!
Your nose is victorious.
That's it. Don't feel bad. I was a nose wrestler in school, so you know.
He says, makes sense. But now my turn, an arm wrestle.
Oh, let me introduce you to Randy. As I like get off the chair and like just like yeah.
Alright, he turns over and he reaches his arm out and he says, Ranby, an arm wrestle? You look like a one with good fight.
Yeah, let's do it. Strength again, I assume?
Yep. Oh, and you guys sit there and you're
Equal match.
straining. Yeah, you're straining and you're just like, oh, and he like grabs his mug with his other hand and he just like chugs it really hard and he pushes harder and again. What? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. That was wrong.
I think DM's
And Randy
fudging the
loses
numbers
her
a little
arm.
bit.
We have wrestled Thor. I am sorry, Thor.
Yeah, no. And he strains really hard, and just at the last minute, you just take a swipe and slams his hand down, and he's like, someone with great strength. It pleases me. Another round of drinks over here, bartender. Or barkeep.
That's just wrestling with your muscles. I mean, wrestling with your nose. That takes skill.
Alright, and he'll kind of sit back and he'll take a huge gulp and he'll be like, that was a nice wrestle. Now, for some tales. What great adventures have you guys? What awesome enemies have you braved? What glorious lands have you conquered? Tell me all about it.
We captured a guy called Lindragosa. And oh man, he is one nasty blue lizard.
Langdodrosa? What kind of name is that? A lizard, you say?
Yeah, he's like a half-dragon guy, big warrior.
Aye, half-dragons. They're bachelors.
Yes, we captured him under the skies that were currently being set ablaze by a blue dragon.
You defeated and captured him? You are mighty adventurers, I see. It's no
pretty
small
awesome.
feat to take down a half-dragon.
Yeah, he was pretty good too.
I'll bet. I've heard
We
of...
even managed to save the town treasure and bring it back. Honest adventurers.
Wow. No wonder Leosin speaks so highly of you and insisted that we meet. And with that, he is going to tell you guys that he will be back momentarily, and he's going to head up the stairs. And a couple of moments later, his squire shows you off to a private space off the tavern's common room and closes the door when he leaves. Waiting for you in the room are broad-shouldered human paladin, the monk Leosin, and many pitchers of dark red wine. And I apologize, the paladin is on Thar's room. It sounds like it's an extra person, but that's just him. My friends, we have important business to discuss. At this point, you know almost as much about it as we do, and thanks to you, we know twice as much today as we did 10 days ago. Something rotten is afoot. We have no formal organization to oppose these rascals, not yet anyway, and we're working on that. We need people like you, who know how and when to fight, and how to keep their heads down and observe. We can't promise you anything except long days filled with danger and stress, but what could be better than that, eh? And at this moment, Onthar is going to, he would like to offer you a place in the Order of the Gauntlet, and Leosin would like to offer you guys into Order of the Harpers. So you guys can choose to join one or the other, or none. But they are both, at this point, are offering you guys
Well, what do you have? What comes with this membership? Tell us the details.
Yeah, tell us more of your organizations.
Indeed. At this early stage, there isn't any pay for members and no ranks, but we can offer help and support from other members and allies who are spread from Nashkel and Candlekeep in the south to Neverwinter and Mirenbar in the north. The horses that Leosin arranged for you guys are just one small example of the aid the Harpers and the Order of the Gauntlet can provide.
The
And
noble
if
deeds of
we,
the. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was going to say, if we choose one of you over the other, are you going to fight about it?
Absolutely not. Our two organizations are working together to try and take care of this cult of the dragon. They're up to something serious, and our main goal is working together to try and figure out what it is.
Is our association with one or the other exclusive? Is there any reason why we can't assist both of you?
Absolutely. Yes, it is exclusive, but you will essentially be helping both with their shared goal, no matter which one. They will tell you that the Order of the Gauntlet um, emphasizes faith, vigilance, and constant struggle against the threats of evil. Many of its members are clerics and paladins, but the Order welcomes anyone who shares its ideals. Discipline is key, and the Order is distinctly structured. The Harpers are loosely organized. They're dedicated to furthering equality and justice, and to keeping its power, or into keeping power out of the hands of those who don't deserve it. They're pretty loosely organized, and their agents are allowed wide freedom of action. So they essentially have the same goals, but the Harpers are going to be a lot more relaxed, and kind of you go where you go as long as you're helping the greater good, while the Gauntlet is going to be a little bit more expectant of you guys to do specific tasks.
Harper.
Say the Order of the Gauntlet is more lawful aligned and the Harper's more chaotic aligned, but still both good.
Exactly, for sure.
Is Viren with us yet?
At this point, by the time after you guys did your, like, before you guys went into the room, I apologize, I should have said that before you guys went into the room, but like during the conversations and the struggles and all that good stuff, Viren would have showed up right around the end of that to meet Froome, and then you guys all went to the room together. I apologize.
Just wanted to make sure that we didn't make a decision without him.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
by the way, Viren.
By the way, Viren, we did pick this important thing while you were off at the church, JK. But the top concern of both of the groups, either way, is going to be the Cult of the Dragon. And
I had long had my eyes on the Order of the Gauntlet when seeking a life beyond Greenest, but this is a group choice. I will respect the decision of the majority.
Oh, I do apologize if I misunderstood your question. You guys can, like, some of you can go with the Gauntlet, some of you guys can go with the Harpers.
Oh, it's individual.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking, like, can I be Order of the Gauntlet and Harpers? One person can't be, but you guys can choose your own factions or decide to not be in one. That's entirely up to you. Each as an individual. So.
Ramby's a Harper.
And Leosin shakes your hand and says, I couldn't be happier to have you with us.
Yeah.
The Order of the Hand, or Hand, right? Or
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet, yeah.
Gauntlet. Yeah. It does go hand in hand with what I do already.
It does indeed.
I would be honored to join you.
And Froome gives you a big clap on the shoulder, and then he's like kind of surprised at how firm you are against it. And he's like, "Ah, I am greatly pleased to see you join our ranks, sir."
It's got a thing for tall guys.
And I just like
And
throw
good
a hand
beards.
down on his shoulder, slapping it to.
And he's like a little bit shaken, and he's like, "Ah, yes, we will have many adventures together." he's just like pleased, and his face is like really red, maybe from all the ale, maybe from excitement, maybe both.
Come on. Actually looks at the. Oh, go ahead, Ellie.
I think I will refrain from joining at this point. Is this an offer that will stay in case I change my mind?
Absolutely, the offer is always open.
Okay.
And
Actually looks at them both with fingers steepled, looking them intensely. He's like, "What is your policy on badgers?"
Anthar, Froome, and Leosin kind of both look at each other and like raise an opposite eyebrow, and they're both just like, badgers?
He's got a pet badger.
Yeah, Froome will be like, "Do you mean for food?" And then Leosin is just like, "I have no problem with badgers."
I say, "Wrong answer, Mr. Froome, but thanks for your interest. I think I'll be joining the Harper, sir."
Awesome. All right, and the two Harpers are Daxley and our Ranby, right?
Yep.
Yes. You guys will be given a small little brooch that is a silver harp nestled between the horns of a crescent moon. And then Nathaniel and my brain is not working.
Up here.
Viren.
Viren, thank you. I'm so sorry. Is going to receive. Sorry, one second. Somewhere. I just saw it. A gauntlet grasping a sword by the blade, and it is also a pendant. Which Anthar is also wearing one, but you can't see it because it's underneath his beard. But he's always wearing it.
One session, I'll make sure to go unbraided so you can see the full.
Yeah, he does kind of like look a little bit closer at your beard, and he's like, "That's quite the braid you have there, sir. After a few more drinks, you may have to show me your ways. I don't know if I can quite tame mine down. I've never tried."
Taxley laughs and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I've done it for like 30 years, so."
So,
Braiding party, braids and ale.
Count me in.
perfect.
Right on. We'll each take a side.
You could have two.
All right, and with that, they are going to go into discussing the plan with you. Thanks to you guys, the Harpers now know that the cult is amassing treasure and shipping it north. Where exactly this treasure is going and what the cult plans to do with it are the next two questions that need answering. They both would request your help to join the cult's caravan and accompany it on the journey. They suggest you guys get yourselves hired as guards, if not by the cult's wagon masters, then by other merchants who are traveling in the same direction at the same time. Merchants from different companies commonly join together to form larger trains for protection. Froome has contacts among the many merchants of its region and is certain he can arrange a job. However, timing is an issue. The tracks leaving the cultist camp and the map from Mondoth's chamber both indicate that the wagons were heading west to pick up the Coastway Road, where they would turn north to Barragost and Baldur's Gate, a journey of about 550 miles. The wagons would take 25 to 30 days for that trip, depending on conditions. So, with that, the river Chianthar flows directly from El Chirel to Baldur's Gate, and Anthar has actually hired a boat that he would ask you guys to take to Baldur's Gate so that you guys make it there in time to meet up with the cult whenever they arrive.
I love to sail. Have you guys sailed before?
Actually, he's like, oh no, I'm sure this will be fine.
It's okay. It's like riding shovels, but like a water shovels.
In all my 2 centuries, I have yet to ride on the ocean.
Ah, you are in for a trip, good sir. I'll make sure the boat is extra sturdy.
Please. I think that sounds fun.
Perfect. And with that, he provides you all with 50 gold pieces to cover your expenses on the trip.
Okay.
So nice.
I need to see an apothecary in town. Can you guys send me to the direction of a good apothecary?
Absolutely. Actually, the next thing to suggest that Frim was going to suggest is that he would see to it you guys are all equipped with new clothing and gear, and even new weapons if you would like. He does suggest that you guys take the time to change your appearance at least in subtle ways, so to reduce the odds that anybody you guys have met along the way, cult-wise, will not recognize you. And he also informs you that there is an apothecary down the road on the left.
I'm going to need a cask of anti-nausea herbs, that's for sure. I don't know how shovels is gonna do on a boat, on an ocean. What's an ocean, by the way? I mean, it's just like a big lake, right?
Don't worry, it's just
like
a river.
Giant underground lake.
Don't worry, guys, it's a river. You don't have to stress too much.
Yeah, and I'm still wearing my greenest uniform. I probably stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
absolutely.
do.
And you guys are you're provided with it. They've told the merchants that the Order of Gauntlet and the Harpers will pay for those, and don't worry, Eleanor, you're still taken care of because you're helping them out. So
Wonderful.
their organization's got you.
As Daxley goes along, he sees a hat in a haberdashery that's like a cowboy hat, and he just like stops and stares at this magnificent hat, and he's like, "That, yes, that." And he goes gets himself a nice jaunty hat for his disguise.
I love it. Yeah, well, I'm just popping y'all back on El Chirel since we're kind of hanging around doing stuff. Stare at pretty background.
So pretty. So the boat that we're going on, he was saying that merchants hire people. Like, are we going on a merchant boat or just a boat?
So, sorry, that was like a wall of information. So essentially what's happening right now is, like I was showing on the Sword Coast map, the caravan, as well as the road from El Chirel, will meet at Baldur's Gate, essentially. So the river Chianthar runs from El Chirel to Baldur's Gate. So you guys are just like speed traveling to Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
And then once you get there, Baldur's Gate is a very huge hub for merchants and traders. So once you get to Baldur's Gate, that's like a massive tradeway, so merchants are very frequently on caravans, and you know the cult plans to join a caravan on that trade, so they would like you guys to get hired as like guards or somehow find a way to travel on that caravan with the cult members.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and you guys, they said you can join the actual cults as guards if you like, or you can just find another merchant that's traveling on that same caravan and go for them. Yeah.
Awesome.
I say, Nathaniel, do you know much about the caravans and the guards and such? Do you think you could navigate us a good arrangement?
This is pretty foreign to me, but I think we can stumble through it. I'm hesitant to join the cult's caravan itself. We might want more autonomy than that, but it does offer us an inside.
I agree.
Sure. I mean, if our new badges, well, we're not supposed to show our badges, right? But certainly your greenest badge might afford us some credibility with the hiring process.
I don't know if you want to admit that though, because if the cultists find out that somebody from Greenest is there.
Also, I do believe it was. I know for sure it's one of them. I think it's Onthar. Froome. He has a contact with a human trader. That can help you guys get hired.
What kind of organization did you guys join? Prostitution is not okay.
No, he's just a human. He doesn't actually trade. I'm laughing like really hard because like when I first read that shit, I thought it was a human, like someone who traded humans too, and I was like, what the fuck? Why are we hanging out with these people?
It is Baldur's Gate. It's a trade hub.
He works in human resources.
The only human in the group is a little cringy right now.
Oh my god. She's like, well, thank God we are humans, except for Nathaniel. Smudge it up a little bit, buddy.
Cut your ears. Make them pointy. Sorry. I was like, wow.
Okay, I'm calm.
I'm really proud of that.
You know, a trader whom is of the race human. Why did that make it worse? Oh my god.
Not a trader of.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, so Froome tells you guys that he has a contact with a trader in Baldur's Gate who can help you guys get hired onto the caravan. I'm calm. That was a good laugh. I needed that laugh. That was really good. Okay.
Alright, guys.
What was Froome's friend's name?
First order of business is getting to Baldur's Gate in one piece, I suppose.
Indeed.
It's gonna be fine. We're sailing. Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. Alright, and yeah, it's up to you guys. Do you guys just want to stay the night and head out the next morning? That is certainly what they would prefer, that you guys get on it quickly. Or do you guys, has everybody upgraded their gears and armors that you need?
The armory that we've been allowed access to, does that include masterwork weapons, or is that just sort of...
Okay, so to be honest, I'm not quite sure, because I've like tried to figure, it literally just says you guys can have new clothing and gear. It says all new clothing and gear. Should that mean... I feel like you guys are getting to a point where you should be able to upgrade weapons.
Yeah, we have lots of money.
Well, no, I think it's still pretty expensive to buy magic stuff, though.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, definitely not magic, but like,
okay, yeah,
masterwork is a big maybe, because I still think like giving away masterwork is just like strangers is, I don't know, that would...
So in that case, because I'm not super familiar with it, I'm gonna put it at like player's discretion. If you think it's something that's gonna make you like insanely OP for the level, maybe wait on it. If it's something that seems like it's about even with the level you guys are at, maybe making you a little bit OP, a little bit-ish is okay, but you know, if it's just gonna like blow you out of the water for level 4.
I would like to get a shield.
Yep. So you guys just take a few minutes, browse the wares. They are supplying you free of charge. So.
Actually, that's a good idea. Picking up a shield and a hand crossbow.
I'm gonna buy
That's
some
Baxley's style. He's like,
perfume.
yeah, Nathaniel, it's good. Especially when you don't even need to reload. He puts it up like a little shield brace cover.
Yeah, I've been impressed with your combat style. I thought I'd give it a try for something a little bit more protective, defensive.
It's my people call it the tunnel beetle style.
Like fighting in the trenches, I suppose.
Yeah, trenches surrounded you in a big tunnel.
I mean, oh gosh. Emily, I'll leave this up to you, but I mean, adamantine armor is uncommon.
Andrew, I feel like your AC is already 19. Do you need a higher AC, Viren?
I mean, I don't know. It's, up to, it's like literally the only thing I do to upgrade anything I'll have.
Okay, you do you
I'm...
then, Andrew. If you want to have a freakish AC, you do you. So I'm saying I'm leaving it up to y'all's discretion, but just know, like, obviously, if you guys are just like tearing through monsters, I'll just give you guys some extra monsters. It's okay.
Oh,
I can always
I
add.
know what Daxley wants to do. He wants to check out the barding of let's say stable work. See if I can maybe make up a rig to give Shovel some leather armor or something.
Oh, for sure.
Is there? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You continue.
I was just gonna say, they do have some armor for like miniature ponies that with some like minor modifications. They think that they could get it onto Shovels with just a few hours of work.
The fattest pony you got. Then Shovels gives him a look. He's like, "Don't look at me like that. You know what you are."
That's glorious. What's up, Eleanor?
I was going to ask if there is a library.
Yep, absolutely. This is a pretty big city. It's a capital of this entire area, so it's going to have churches, libraries, just about anything you could want.
And how, when did he, when is the boat going to take sail?
He would like for it to take sail early morning, but let me double check.
That's right. So we have the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, you can do the rest of the day today. They would just like you guys to let's see, because you did. Yeah, you should have, because I would say that it was about evening-ish, and by the time you guys finished having a chat with them, but it's about 6, 7, so like you guys should have a couple hours before everything is closed to get things done, and then if y'all need a couple hours in the morning, that would be okay, but they would like you to be gone by noon, because it is timing.
Can I spend the rest of the day in the library learning a new spell?
Yeah, for sure.
To put in my book. Cool. I'm going to do that then.
I'm going to grab more coffee really quick while y'all look through that.
Hey guys, with Roll20, does anyone know how to move items in your attack and spellcasting list?
Yeah, you hit the lock like at the bottom of the list, and then you grab one of the on the left side. 3 little bars. You just grab that and move it up and down.
Do you know if that's browser specific? Because I've been trying that and it hasn't been working.
You can't use it when it's popped out.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you for that. That's exactly the detail I'm missing. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's perfect.
Whoops. I'm trying to. I see that he gets an increase, so I'm like, oh, I just add that to him.
Oh, nice. I wasn't expecting to have library time, so now I have to pick a spell.
Ranby's gonna hang out in the library and try and learn more about the dragon dealie.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Despite all of my knowledge, I had very little on the
It's a look.
blue dragon fella.
She's like, need to look at my cliff notes. Alright, did anybody have any questions or anything while I was gone?
I don't think so.
Alright, yeah. You guys just, like I said, take your time and get all geared up, and you'll just let me know when everybody is.
I found it says here that barding costs 4 times as much and weighs twice as much, so that's good to know.
Ooh.
Barding?
Yes, I'm blinging out shovels. He's going into battle too often. He was meant to be a digger, but if he's gonna fight, well, I'm gonna make sure he's got the best protection I can afford.
Yeah, and actually, whenever you go to pick up that barding, the leather worker's daughter walks up and she gives you like a tiny little sewn shirt for Drillbit that she made.
Aw.
And she was just like, I felt really bad that the mouse didn't have anything and the badger got something, so I made him a shirt.
Oh my goodness. So I like tell Drillbit what she said, and Drillbit's just like, he like snucks into it like a hamster and just kind of like, oh yeah.
And then she hands him like a little piece of cheese that she saved him from her lunch. She's a fan.
Say, he will carry your name into battle in your honor.
Now it's time to say.
Anna.
Anna.
I was like, she should probably have a name then. Get some more jams going.
I think I'm gonna do. I wasn't prepared to have to look at spells today.
It's all good. Like I said, you guys take your time and do your spells and armor and stuff.
If you guys finish before me, it's fine. I can do this while we travel too.
I'm done.
I'm comfortable here. I'm good.
Yeah, good. I think. Is there information on the Cult of the Dragon and the blue dragon dudes here?
Give me 1 second. Alright, when you look up dragons, you do see that they're immune to lightning. And what exactly are you looking for about, like, is there anything specific? Just like general, like Cult of the Dragon, when you read up on them, the only like current information really is just that they're known to rebirth undead dragons. They like to bring or resurrect undead dragons, not rebirth. They like to That would be weird. They like to resurrect undead dragons, because they believe that undead dragons deserve all of the knowledge owed to dragons. That was the main original goal of Cult of the Dragon. However, they had become quiet as of the last 10-15 years. And then like the books that you found don't really have any like recent information on them, so any recent information would only be stuff that you guys have really learned. But that is a little bit of the history of them.
Okay. And is there anything on particular strengths or weaknesses that would be of benefit in combat with them? Obviously, kobolds are wimps, but it's the dragon that nearly knocked my block off that I'm.
Yeah, you did see that the essentially don't use lightning on blue dragons. Let me see if I can find other information. Because dragons in general, a lot of them haven't really been super prominent in Faerun until the last few years, so they're actually, other than undead dragons, so people don't really have a ton of ideas. You do know that black dragons like Resmir, you did find that they're immune to acid, and you are also aware that black dragons can detect from great distances enemies, so they have a special skill. And as for dragons, that's about all the information you can find that's really useful combat-wise.
Okay.
Does the Order of the Gauntlet or the Harpers, do they have a presence in Baldur's Gate?
So both of these organizations used to be pretty well known and widespread throughout all of Faerun. Recently, they haven't really been heard of that much. Order of the Gauntlet is a pretty standard one that, although it's not as widespread, everybody knows of Order of the Gauntlet. So they are going to be kind of positioned and known of in just about everywhere you go in Faerun. The Harpers are mostly known as an old organization that used to do a lot of good in Faerun, but hasn't really been heard of much in the last 100 years or so. They don't really have anything bad to be heard of them, but like I said, they haven't really been heard of much at all as of recent. They're more of an old tale than something people really know about.
So our badges, they would they be recognized? Like if we were to go to the Order of the Gauntlet in Baldur's Gate, would they recognize us as members?
Absolutely, yeah. So anybody that's ordered the Gauntlet will definitely recognize you. Most enemies will recognize Order of the Gauntlet symbols. Harper is like hit or miss.
Okay, so enemies and people in the street, same thing.
Yeah, people do pretty generally, since they're a really lawfully good organization, they're pretty open about their intent, and their sigils and stuff like that. So wearing that is going to be a pretty obvious indicator of who you are to most people. Harper's is hit or miss. It's still probably not recommended, but it isn't really a well-known organization. So you might just like end up picking up, you might catch the occasional Harper that would actually notice it. You're less likely to get noticed by enemies, but once again, it is kind of you never know who knows what. So
seems like already this affiliation will open doors for us.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm all set. I need nothing else in this town.
Sorry, say that again?
I need nothing else here.
Okay, perfect. Alright, and if everybody is prepared, the next afternoon you guys will set sail onto the Cheonthar River. If you like, you can bring your horses and yaks, but you don't have to. They're not going to really like it, but you can bring them if you like.
I'm gonna bring him.
Daxley is like, he's like, oh look, a piece of cheese on this ramp. Just follow these shovels. Oh look, another piece of cheese. It's just a wiggly house. Don't worry, it's not leaving. Just come on down below decks
Come on.
with me.
Come on.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not leaving. See that rope? It's tied up super tight. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going
And then
anywhere.
and then I go below decks with some cheese.
That's
And
glorious.
in a very practical manner, there's a person on the boat whose job is it to take care of horses, and it's not mine. So, horse aboard, and someone else's problem.
Exactly. Yeah, because there are definitely stables. It's like a large enough boat that they have places for all that kind of stuff.
I guess I'll bring my pony then. If everybody else is bringing their stuff.
Yeah, the horses and yaks are pretty grumpy about it, but they agree. They go on.
I nudge Daxley. They might be uncomfortable, but at least they don't talk back.
Yeah. Daxley's giving all the yaks and stuff a comforting speech of like, it's okay, everybody's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, so the trip downriver to Baldur's Gate is uneventful. It takes you guys 3 days. Day 2 is a little bit misty, but other than that, it's clear skies all the way. And despite Shovels getting a little bit seasick, poor buddy, everybody has a pretty relaxing venture. Let's see. Alright. Let me do. I actually want. Sorry. Alright. Baldur's Gate. As you guys come down the river, you guys see a grand city bustling with trade once again. It has goods coming from the north and south by wagon along the tradeway and by ship on the Sea of Swords, and from the east along the river Chianthar and from Cormyr and Sembia. Baldur's Gate is situated on a prominent bluff next to the river, overlooking an excellent natural harbor. It is divided into 3 distinct segments: the upper city, where the richest and most influential citizens live, and where the city's marketplace, the Wide, is located, and the lower city, which surrounds the harbor, and where most of the city's merchants live and conduct their business, and the outer city, which lies outside the walls, and where most of the city's laborers reside in conditions that vary from crowded but clean to squalid. Froome suggested that when you got here, you search for the trader who is of the race human, named Akin Celebon. He operates an equipage business in the outer city north of the city wall, in a district called Blackgate. There he sells all the material needed for long-distance freight hauling: wagons, rope, netting, grease, chains, wheels, and so on. His shop also repairs wagons, and he is not directly involved in the hiring of guards for caravans, but he's very familiar with the merchants and traders that come through the city, so he would be easily able to get you into contact with those people.
Excellent. I guess when we disembark, we head towards the Black Gate.
For sure. Also, something to be noted about Baldur's Gate, because it's a very different sort of trade center. Baldur's Gate does not allow wagons, pack animals, horses, or even dogs into the city. The streets are so narrow, steep, and slick from frequent rain that heavy wagons would be a menace. This is actually one of the reasons why Baldur's Gate is such a bustling commercial hub. For goods to pass through the city from south to north, for example, they must be unloaded in the outer city east of the wall, carried through the city by porters on foot, and reloaded onto different wagons north of the city for the rest of their journey. No road conveniently bypasses the city, a situation that the gate's profiteering intermediaries work hard to maintain. Most merchants find it easier to sell their loads to those intermediaries and consignment dealers when they reach Baldur's Gate, buy a new load of exotic goods from somewhere far away, and turn around and head back home where they can again sell the new goods at a profit. Along with wagons, guards seldom make a continuous journey through Baldur's Gate. Guards for northbound caravans are typically hired in Blackgate, where northbound wagons begin their journey. And that is the weird Baldur's Gate.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So Daxley's like thinking in his head, he's like, all right, first things I'm going to say is that you're a warrior. Then I'm going to say you're a druid that has been transformed, and we'll have a conversation, and that'll prove that you're intelligent. So, okay.
So no horses.
Nothing about
Whoa,
badgers, sir. Nothing at all.
Harry tucks Taffy into her coat pocket so that she doesn't get caught.
Also, timing-wise, it should be noted, you guys are going to have approximately, like, you guys got here so quickly by going expediently from Greenest to horse riding to Elturel, directly to Baldur's Gate, essentially. So you have an estimated 3 to 4 days before you see the cult arrive here. So you guys kind of have some time to walk around, get to know some merchants, find who you guys would like to go with on the caravan, find your guy. So this isn't really a rushed pace. You guys can kind of take your time and figure out who you would like to work with, essentially. Get to know what's going on.
Good deal.
Well, it sounds like we'll have options for either join the cult or maybe one of several different other merchants. We should begin interviewing as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Celebon would likely be able to send you guys to a few prospective clients that he knows are making travels soon. Whenever you guys like to make your way to him.
So let's go find that guy.
Daxley's like, I already blew my treasure load in El Terrell, so you know, bangs on Shovel's new chainmail. He's like, so off we go.
So the Dragon Army, do we know, based on the information we have, are they just coming through Baldur's Gate to pass through and go through the other side, or are they just passing through to like re-equip? Do we know what they're doing, what their objective is here?
So it would seem that they're mostly transporting goods north. So they believe, from what has been going on and the direction that the cult is taking now, that they were looting the south of Faerun, and then taking that loot and sending it up north for some unknown reason. So they don't think that it's going to be any kind of like attack or anything. If anything, they'll most likely be disguised. Dragons in Baldur's Gate are not something normal, so you are most likely not going to see a half dragon or a dragon walking through Baldur's Gate. They're probably going to be concealed, and they're not going to be like flaunting their loot. It's most likely going to be very
Subtle.
Thank you. Yes.
What about our Furbolg friend? Does he stand out like us with them?
Kind of. This is a pretty big trade center, and it's got all kinds of different people coming from north and south. Like if you thought Greenus was a trading center, this is no joke. This is massive. So while he is pretty unusual, I mean, you've got half-orcs. You'll even see a tabaxi here and there. So I mean, even the uncommon races will be seen
I am
here.
a fey creature, so.
Yeah, it is uncommon, but nobody, like, he might get a couple glances, but nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, a Fearbolg!
Yeah. Cavian!
Like, he'll get a couple of extra glances, like somebody who's, like, extra tall, you know, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing super out of the ordinary.
We may. I'm wondering if there's a cult presence here. If besides trying to infiltrate our way into a caravan, maybe we can get inside some of the seedy underbelly this town.
Ooh, the seedy underbelly. I'm cool with it.
I'm definitely more of the fuzzy underbelly type, but you know, I'm with you, Nathaniel.
The fuzzy underbelly type. Yeah, if you guys would like to do that, it's up to y'all. Y'all, wherever you would like to extend your search. If you want to go look at some bars or taverns, or go down to the outer edges of the city where it's less.
What do you guys think? Should we start with the contact we have, or shall we do a little bit of anonymous skulking?
I'd rather go to the contact we have.
I agree,
I'm
at
not-
least first.
Yes. While I am prone to using magic for deception, I am not okay with consorting with such people as you have mentioned just now.
Yeah, Viren
Bad
says that
guys.
when last episode he was smashing baby dragons on top of other dragons' heads.
They were a foul menace that needed to be destroyed.
That's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair.
I don't have any problems with crushing chaotic evil dragons.
Yeah.
That's fair. I guess we moms are just suckers. We're just like, yeah, come in, baby dragons. Okay. Anyways, all right. So, you guys want to make your way to Celeban?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, he basically gives you guys the laydown of Baldur's Gate. He does tell you guys that he knows that guards for northbound caravans are typically hired in Blackgate, where northbound wagons begin their journey. So that would be your best bet. He says that if you hang around any of the taverns or tent saloons near his shop, they're sure to see all of the northbound traffic, and they shouldn't hesitate to use him as a reference if a potential employer asks for one. The northbound journey from Baldur's Gate is arduous, so merchants travel together for safety. Each merchant hires guards independently, but the common belief is that if everyone hires 2 or 3 and enough wagons travel together, the caravan is well protected. And yep. So he just suggests that you guys go to the northern end of Baldur's Gate, and hang around his shop or the taverns, and you guys should very easily run into people that are planning to travel and are looking for guards, because it's a very common practice for people to just pick up guards on the northern end of the city.
Does he know any cavern drivers or merchants by name that he would refer us to, or that have reputations?
Yeah, absolutely. He can recommend you the Wench's Lodge on Great Crag Avenue. He can also... The innkeeper there is a dwarf named Thari. He also knows of the King's Pub. It is... Wait. Give me 1 second. Yeah. It stands adjacent to a brick-walled warehouse. And the innkeeper there is a tall female halfling named Daldra. And those are the 2 inns that he knows of the best. If you guys would like more, he has plenty of inns in this town that you guys could recommend to you guys that are on the northern side.
So he
I'm
can
okay with the
recommend.
first one.
So he can recommend locations, but not he doesn't know merchants themselves. But he just says these locations are where you can find them.
Yeah, he does know many merchants that go through this city, but frankly there are hundreds and hundreds. So just depending on timing, he doesn't always know who's gonna be where when. However,
Like
pretty much
Susan
all
bus
of them
driver.
know of him because of the trade that he does. So pretty much any merchant that you run into, if you just mention his name as a reference, you shouldn't have any issues, and merchants will be pretty easily recognizable, and they all generally hang around those taverns and saloons in that area while they wait for their goods. So
I agree with you, Viren. I think your gut instinct with the first one is probably right.
I say, I think me and Eleanor should check out the half-leaf one. They might have the right size chairs finally. Finally, the right size chairs.
That would be awesome.
I mean, Dwarfs aren't much bigger.
But I mean, we could split up. Like you said, they only hire two-ish guards. I mean, we're not all going to get hired for the same person anyway. So it might be better to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Plus,
An
I
eye
really.
and a nose on it.
I don't know.
Plus,
I'm
just-
nervous. Sorry, go ahead.
I know, and plus Eleanor just wants to meet her. I'm sure.
Plus, I have this new trick, and Eleanor pulls out a little piece of wire and like whispers into it and casts message and talks in Viren's head and says, "Can you hear me now?"
Mm,
That's
See,
glorious.
it's pretty nifty, right?
Say to me, to me, to me.
Okay. She
All
does
right,
the
so
same.
who's going to the
Hi.
wenches lodge?
Darren.
I don't know, Viren. I'm nervous about splitting up in such a strange and vast city. If they're set on the King's Pub, we may. I think we might.
Oh
want
no,
to
I think we'll be fine. Spread the net wide. We'll be in contact. And plus, if who's gonna take a Badger in his new armor? Ching, ching, ching.
There's a few people I can think of.
I know we're going to be asking potentially some difficult questions if we come across allies of the cult. I'll be accompanying you to the other pub.
Maybe we shouldn't be so obvious. I mean, nobody's going to want to hire troublemakers. And if we're just asking about cultists, they're probably not going to like us so much.
I agree. Discretion makes sense.
No
Like Eleanor
enemies.
says, they're only gonna hire 2 or 3 at a time. So
Yeah.
Well, if these innkeepers are brokering for multiple caravans, we may all be able to sign up through a middleman.
sure.
I don't know how these things work. Let's venture a meeting first.
Let's just get something to drink. See where it leads us.
All right, so as you guys enter the King's Pub, it is a single-story building of half-timbered walls with dwarf wrought iron tables and chairs. Accommodations consist of several large rooms with beds and straw mattresses and several hammocks in the common room. The innkeeper is a tall female halfling named Daldra, and she offers you a mug of stout when you reach the counter. Hi, how fares it?
Hello.
Hi,
Very
it's nice
pretty.
to see fresh faces. You're pretty yourself, lass.
Thanks.
What can I do for you guys this evening?
We are looking for a place to spend the night. We are now
We're also
hopefully going to
looking
find some
for-
work.
Well,
Yeah.
you've come to the right place. The King's Pub is the finest accommodations in all of Baldur's Gate, if I do say so myself. And we do have the finest stout, and boiled eggs and dried mushrooms are on the menu tonight, dearie.
Do you have juice?
I do have juice. I have carrot juice. Would that
Carrot
please
juice.
the lady's palate?
It would be wonderful.
Ah, a cup of fresh carrot juice for the lady. Ah, and I see that you have a... Oh, don't they love caviar? I do have a bit of caviar on the side for those. They are my absolute favorite. My daughter loves them.
Guys, this is the most wonderful place I've ever been.
Oh my.
Halfling
Oh,
hospitality. Right?
You all right?
Can I offer you guys a room? Only the warmest rooms for my halfling friends here.
Oh.
I just look down at her and just go, are the beds big enough?
And she kind of like takes a moment to like fully move her head like all the way up to see Viren's face. And she's just like, oh dearie, well I think we might have to put a couple of them together, but we'll make something to work for you, darling, if you're a friend of hers.
He's a very good friend.
Oh, well then we'll have to make it work, won't we?
I mean, if he gets 5 hammocks, that should suspend him. you know.
I'm not quite sure. Just like one under the butt, one under the head, one under the ankles. Like hammock, hammock, hammock.
Yep. Yep. 5 hammocks.
Maybe we'll use the straw beds less. Alright, and is there anything you guys would like to do in the inn other than have yourselves a nice rest? I mean, you guys do have a few days to kind of hang out. You don't necessarily need to get hired onto a caravan right away because you are kind of waiting for the cult to show up, and then they'll have to do the whole switch of going from the south end of the gate to the north end of the gate and hiring their guards and stuff like that. So you guys can kind of take your time and get to know the place and see how the caravans work and stuff like that. It's not a huge rush to get hired.
Assimilate.
Pretty kitty.
So, I mean, we can still see if there's anybody leaving within like 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Then,
Yep,
and
for
get
sure.
hired on with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this works. Like, if we actually need to sign on with individuals, or if we just like anonymously get signed up with a generic merchant, or how that works.
I mean, you can ask around.
I mean, also ask the pub owner. I'm pretty sure she could point us in the right direction.
She looks at Nathaniel as she hears him talking. She says, "Oh, what's that? You'll say you're looking to get hired on a caravan, you say?"
Yes, we're expecting to want to leave in 3 to 4 days, so we figured we'd offer our services as bodyguards.
Oh, well, that's not as uncommon as you'd think. I see at least 50 getting hired out today. People are constantly traveling through here. It's actually quite simple. We have actually, I believe, 2 or 3 merchants in here right now that will be leaving in a few days. And they're pretty much constantly people going. You just go up and show them your skills, whether it be through feats of strength or if you have something that can prove your value. They may pay you a little bit, or they may pay you a lot. I've seen sometimes you can just ride along with them for free if you like, if you can't get hired for anything.
I suppose they wouldn't mind extra hands to protect the caravan, especially if they don't have to pay them.
Exactly. People are always constantly, plus occasionally they will, lose a guard or two, so sometimes a spot will open up on the trip if you don't get hired right away.
Would you happen to know who at one of these tables is looking to leave in our time frame?
I do know that Bade Setchpool over there, he does usually make a trade every few days after he gets back into the town, and I believe he just got back in last night.
I saunter over to that table.
Right.
And hello there. I heard you were possibly leaving in the next 3 to 4 days, and was coming to offer my services.
How goes it? My name is Bade Setchpool. You said you are looking to be hired as a guard.
Yes.
And he, once again, just like her, but not having to look quite as high up, he kind of looks at you and says, you look like you could do the job. And
I am wearing full plate.
yes, you look like you could do the job quite nicely. He is a male half-elf merchant. Give me 1 second. Alright, yeah. So, he informs you that he trades ale and beer. So he is constantly making trips from here all the way up to Waterdeep, as the ale and beer that he sells are very, very popular. He does like the look of you, and he says that he plans to leave in 3 days, early in the morning, along with that caravan that will leave that day. And if you could just, yeah, no, actually, yeah. You should technically make a strength check, but you know what? I think with how you look, he's just gonna accept it. He's gonna take it. He's just gonna be like, yeah, you
If
look
I
like
really
you
have
can
to
handle.
show off, I'm just gonna grab the table and pick it up
Okay.
with one arm.
Yeah, cool. Throw me a strength check. I just want to see how it happens. I feel like all of your ridiculous checks end up being like insane.
Oh, no.
So Viren is like, yes, let me show you this table, and he goes to lift it up.
With athletics.
Ow, my back. My back. Oh, God.
Yeah, no,
my
sorry,
back.
Viren. That's you rolled a fucking
Like,
4.
just hire us. He just like spills all the beer.
Yeah,
on the
Viren
table.
like goes to like lift up the table, but like instead of like lifting the table, he just like tilts it up a little bit, and the guy's like drinks and food just like slide off the side of the table, and he's just like, no, I don't think that will do, but I appreciate the offer. Have a good night. And then he walks
Worst
off
job
to
interview ever.
and then he walks up to the innkeeper and he asks her for another drink and some more food.
The one time my fucking strength checks fail me.
I was just gonna let you have it, but you had to flip the table, or you had to pick up the table.
Oh well.
That was
This
glorious.
is why we roll. This is
Eleanor's like, wait, sir, he's really very helpful. Do you see how big he is? I mean,
he
he
just
might be a little bit clumsy, but
he looks at the floor and he says, "Useful, indeed." And he says, "I think I'll retire for the evening." And he goes up to his room.
I'm
He
sorry,
takes
Baron.
his drink and his food and he walks upstairs. Sorry, Mary, that was the floor.
hopefully that did not make a bad impression to everybody in the bar.
Don't worry.
That's why we
Like
don't know each other.
like I said,
We don't know each other.
there are like hundreds and hundreds of traders and merchants, and it's okay.
And in fact, there might be a merchant that's a rival and that thought that was funny.
Exactly. Maybe they're looking for some amusement on the road. You never know. Somebody might come hire Beard off of that.
Somebody who didn't like that half elf.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That was great. All right.
We go back to the bartender and
One
ask
time.
for another
What's
reference.
the next merchant like?
Yeah, right.
Actually approaches.
Oh yeah. Fuck
the
you,
other two
strength.
merchants like,
Now what are you just like? The guy's just like gone, and Baron's like, "Look, I can hold up the table."
He's like testing the table.
Yeah.
Something went wrong here.
Yeah, and the innkeeper's just like, you did it, darling. Just at the wrong time. And if you ask her for more references, she says, I do know that these guys just returned, but I do believe they're heading south. However, if you stay the night in my inn, I'm sure you'll have some fresh merchants in the morning.
sounds good. I say that one was a little bit soggy.
Alright, guys.
Dildra. Oh yeah, I guess we're. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Dildra. I don't suppose you're familiar with other bars and keeps in this town, are you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, none, of course, are as good or as good for the price as mine, but I suppose I could.
Naturally, no. We're in fact looking for one that is much, much worse. Do you have any idea where we can find the less savory type of people in town?
Oh, worse, you say? That I can do. Oops. 1 second. That would be the cracked flask I think you're looking for. It's on Flail's side, and the innkeeper, he's a male dwarf named Rand. I don't quite care for him, but if you're looking for a bad place, that's the place to go.
Well, we'll be sure to supply you with our patronage and just keep our trouble there.
I very much appreciate it. I thought you looked like good patrons, if a bit clumsy, but no worries, no worries. I'll get that cleaned up in a tiffy. You guys
You
enjoy your evening.
called the
I
cracked
drop-
flask, was that right?
Yes, the cracked flask. And Randve is the innkeeper, a dwarf.
I use Mage Hand to start picking up everything that Viren made a
I
mess
just
of.
drop a few silvers to apologize.
And she just, like, her cheeks get a little red. She's like, oh, dearie, no, it's okay. It's fine. You guys leave it. Get yourself some sleep, really. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, guys, and actually with that, I'm going to let you guys go get yourselves a long rest for the evening, and I will catch you guys next to Tuesday.
So much